to be very honest, right? So Jay-Z had a bunch of kids in the tri-state area.
I can only say as a father that I hope I instilled with them the values that they would want to look for in a man. And I think I did when Beyonce wrote on her, I think it was her first album, maybe it was the second one, the song Daddy, that she hoped that she found someone just like her daddy.
I felt like, they had a whole lot of potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in, because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do.
Our lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be.
She's 28 from Maryland and says she spent her whole life stuck in the shadows. But now she's stepping right into the spotlight with a wild claim that could flip Jay-Z's whole world upside down. Her name is Letitia Macer, but on Instagram she goes by a name that hits way harder. Jay-Z's first daughter. Yeah, you heard that right. This woman is saying she's not just some fan or a distant relative. She's claiming to be the actual daughter of Sean Carter himself, and it gets even crazier. She says she's got DNA proof to back it all up. It all kicked off with a raw, emotional post where Letitia poured her heart out. In her own words, "I've been quiet for far too long." She says she's lived in a city where everybody supposedly knew Jay-Z was her dad. But still, she grew up without his name, without his help, all while her mom was slowly losing her fight with multiple sclerosis.
Never got anything, so why wouldn't I believe my mom? We could have been settled this, and it only takes a conversation and some words, I'm not a hateful guy. I don't hate anyone. I'm not after nobody. I'm not trying to see no one downfall, but this is just some things that just went through court, and they just expected me to just sit there and just take what they were saying. I can't do that, because
Letitia claims her mom became bedridden, a shadow of the strong woman she once was. While all that was happening, Letitia says she was holding it all together, raising her own kid, working 2 jobs, and pushing through school. And through it all, she says she kept the truth hidden, a truth that had been whispered for years around her neighborhood, that she's part of hip-hop royalty, a hidden piece of Jay-Z's legacy.
Jay-Z, I heard that no one really wanted to sign him when you were shopping him around the record labels. Is that true?
Yeah. This was, I want to say, I don't know, 90, 91 maybe. We was, we recorded some songs, probably about 4 or 5 songs on Jay-Z, and shopped them to several different record labels, and they all passed.
Her family says this isn't some made-up fantasy. They claim this story started way before Beyonce was even in the picture. Letitia's aunt even went public, saying she's the one who introduced Jay-Z to Letitia's mother back in the early 90s, way before the platinum albums, before Rockefeller blew up, before the billions.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
She swears it wasn't just some backstage hookup or random gossip. It was a real relationship, and she didn't stop there. She dropped receipts. We're talking names, dates, locations, a full timeline that paints a very different picture. According to the family, when the pregnancy came to light, they even tried reaching out to Jay-Z at the Rockefeller office, but claimed they got completely shut down. No calls returned, no access granted, total silence. But here's where it gets way darker. Rapper A.O., a former associate from State Property, is saying Jay-Z knew about Letitia all along. And not only that, he's been secretly supporting her. A.O. claims Jay-Z bought a house in Cambridge, Maryland, where Letitia's been living, but under strict conditions. It wasn't some warm father-daughter setup. Nah, this was all hush-hush. No photos of Jay-Z allowed in the house, no public connection. Keep the image squeaky clean, keep the Carter brand looking flawless. So now everyone's asking, what changed? Why is Letitia speaking up now? The theory flying around, she's done being invisible, tired of the secrets, tired of watching Jay-Z's public family live large, while she's stuck watching from the sidelines like she doesn't exist. And if this whole situation feels familiar, that's because it is. This new twist is tearing open an old wound that Jay-Z's been trying to keep buried for years.
This is not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let Jay-Z, I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right, we'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles. But before that...
Remember Ramir Satterthwaite? He's the guy who's been locked in a legal fight with Jay-Z for over a decade, claiming he's also Jay-Z's son from a fling back in the 1990s with a woman named Wanda. Wanda sadly passed in 2019, but before she died, she dropped a sworn affidavit naming Jay-Z as the father. Ramir says all he's ever wanted is the truth. But Jay-Z? He's allegedly pulled out every trick in the book to dodge a court-ordered DNA test, moving the case across jurisdictions, avoiding rulings, and according to Ramir's filings, hiring lawyers who used legal loopholes to keep it all under wraps.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over?
Sound familiar? Now that Letitia Maker has stepped forward, it's not looking like a one-off anymore. It's starting to feel like a full-blown pattern. And through all of it, Jay-Z has stayed silent, never addressing any of it in public. Two people, two totally different lives from different states, and both are out here claiming the exact same thing, that Jay-Z is their father, and that the public has only seen a polished, filtered version of who he really is. And now, the question everyone's asking, what does Beyonce really think about all this? Word from the inside, she's not happy. In fact, sources close to the situation are saying Queen Bey has hit her limit. We're talking serious behind-the-scenes drama. Whispers of heated arguments, crisis meetings over at Roc Nation, and full-blown damage control mode spinning like crazy. People are even saying Beyonce might have laid down an ultimatum. And honestly, at this point, it wouldn't be shocking. According to insiders, she's telling Jay-Z to handle it once and for all. Take the DNA test, face the truth, and stop letting this drag their name through the mud. But that's where it gets messy. Because if he does take the test and it confirms what Letitia and Ramir have been claiming, that's not just a personal hit. It could be a total meltdown for the Carter empire. His marriage, his reputation, and that billion-dollar brand built on family, loyalty, and picture-perfect image, all of it would be on the line. And if he doesn't take the test, that silence might start sounding louder than anything he could say. To outsiders, it might just look like another wild celebrity scandal. But for those in the middle of it,
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
this feels like a reckoning. Letitia says she's got the DNA results ready. If she's telling the truth, this isn't just about paternity. This is about legacy, the kind of legacy that no hit song or secret settlement can fix. The kind that calls out who you really are when nobody's watching. This ain't just some messy tabloid headline anymore. This is real. We're talking about a woman who says she's been living in the shadows for nearly 30 years, backed by her family every step of the way. And now, she's standing tall, looking the world straight in the eye and saying without hesitation, she's Jay-Z's first daughter. No more hiding, no more silence. And judging by the fire in her post, she's just getting warmed up. But this isn't just about Letitia anymore. What's happening now is way bigger. It's a storm brewing around Jay-Z that's pulling in every buried piece of the past, every locked away secret from the time before Beyonce. And it's starting to shake the foundation of that carefully crafted empire. From hidden homes tucked away in small-town Maryland to court files tangled in legal red tape, from quiet whispers of hush money to rumors of behind-the-scenes acknowledgments, this situation's getting out of control. And the Carter empire, it might not be able to keep a lid on it much longer. Now that Letitia's stepping forward, those old lawsuits and unanswered questions are back in the spotlight. And there's a chill behind it all. Because here's the real kicker.
But what I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time.
What if there's more? What if Letitia and Ramir aren't the only ones? A former Rockefeller employee says multiple women over the years tried to raise similar claims and were quietly pushed aside. According to one source, some were even offered payouts in exchange for silence and signatures, and none of it ever made the press until now. NDA after NDA, money moved through middlemen, and just like that, stories vanished overnight. But in today's social media world, nothing stays buried for long. And Letitia Meeser, she's already going viral. Now the heat's spreading fast, and word is Beyonce's legal team is bracing for anything. We're talking prepping for divorce optics, co-parenting plans, and even full-on brand separation if this whole thing blows up completely. She's reportedly holding strong, but insiders say she's done playing the loyal wife role. This isn't her first time dealing with betrayal, but it might just be the last time she puts up with it. And right in the middle of all this chaos, Jay-Z, hip-hop's godfather, the man who climbed from the Marcy Projects to Madison Square Garden, and what's he saying? Absolutely nothing. No statements, no denials, no DNA tests, just total silence. And that silence, it's getting louder by the second. This isn't just a personal mess anymore. This is a full-on battle for Jay-Z's marriage, his reputation, and his legacy. The empire he built is hanging in the balance, and the clock's ticking fast. So now everyone's asking the same thing. Why won't Jay-Z just take the test? That's the question echoing across social media, legal circles, and hip-hop forums right now. If Jay-Z's got nothing to hide, then what's the holdup? Fans everywhere are asking, is this really about privacy? Or is he trying to keep something way more damaging under wraps? With not one, but two paternity claims coming after him, the refusal to take a DNA test isn't coming off like confidence.
Best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That nigga swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
It's looking more and more like fear, and that fear is casting a serious shadow over the image he's built. The one where he's a truth teller, a role model, a leader in the culture. But behind the silence, there's heavy legal firepower at work. Ramir Satterthwaite's filings straight up accuse Jay-Z's legal team of playing dirty, running a full-blown strategy to block evidence, delay court hearings, and lock away key records from ever seeing the light of day. In one case, the whole thing was dismissed over a technicality, a jurisdiction issue. Jay-Z's team reportedly claimed he had no property ties in New Jersey, even though the judge later admitted one of his lawyers misspoke about that. That one mistake just happened to block the court from forcing Jay-Z to take the DNA test. Coincidence? That's what they want us to believe, but the streets aren't buying it. Meanwhile, this court saga has dragged on for over a decade, and Ramir's team says it's been a non-stop fight against sealed records, wrongful sanctions, and even violations of basic constitutional rights. All of it, they claim, working in Jay-Z's favor. Every time Ramir's mom, his guardians, or his lawyers tried to push the case forward,
That would be something I really would want to find out because, in the future,
someone pushed back harder. Motions denied, records sealed, attorneys ghosted, courts bouncing the case from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, now to California, and still no one's gotten a clear answer. All Ramir says he wants is one thing, the truth. And Jay-Z's response? Nothing but a wall of silence, plus a legal statement calling the whole thing a decades-long campaign of harassment. But if this is just harassment, then why the army of lawyers? Why throw so much time, cash, and power at a case if the answer's as simple as, the kid ain't mine? Jay-Z even seemed to hint at it in his lyrics on Heard About Us, where he rapped, Billie Jean in his prime for the 1,000th time. The kid ain't mine. Cool bar. But bars don't win in court, and right now nothing has proven or disproven Ramir's claim. That silence, it's starting to look less like denial and more like a calculated strategy. One former Rockefeller insider claims Jay-Z's team has a tried-and-true playbook: deny, delay, distract, drown the situation in legal red tape, twist up the jurisdiction, and just outlast anybody trying to bring the truth to the surface. Allegedly, that same method worked before. But this time, it might finally be falling apart. Social media changed the game. Letitia Meeser didn't take her fight to the courtroom. She took it straight to Instagram. She aired out her truth in public, no filters, no middlemen. And now, she's not standing alone. As for Beyoncé, she still hasn't said a word publicly, but insiders say her silence isn't passive at all. According to multiple sources close to the Carter inner circle, Beyoncé's been quietly plotting her next move, and she's doing it with precision. No yelling, no dramatic exits, just cold, calculated steps. One source even called it a silent chess game. Every move intentional, every piece strategically placed. If Jay-Z thinks he's survived tough storms before, this one might be in a league of its own. We all watched Beyoncé survive public humiliation during the Lemonade era. She opened up about the heartbreak, the betrayal, and still chose to stand by him. But this isn't just cheating. This is about secrets, allegedly hidden children, NDAS houses bought in silence, entire lives erased from the picture. And for someone like Beyoncé, who's built her entire brand on truth, loyalty, and female strength, this is starting to look like a PR nightmare. Industry insiders are saying she's already drawn the line in the sand. Behind the scenes, it's getting serious. Some sources claim she's made it crystal clear. She wants answers and fast. One rumored ultimatum, take the DNA test or risk losing it all. And others, they're saying that line has already been crossed. She's just waiting, calm, quiet, letting Jay-Z either clear his name or wreck his own reputation. Could this be the silent start of a public split? A solo rebrand in motion? Maybe even a visual album that spills it all without saying a single word. And if anyone knows how to control the story, it's Beyoncé. But don't get it twisted. This is no longer just a family issue. This is a full-blown reputational crisis. Jay-Z spent years positioning himself as a leader for justice, equity, and truth. From fighting for prison reform to speaking up on social issues, he's tried to be hip-hop's moral compass. But now, people are asking, how can a man pushing for truth in the system refuse to confirm the truth in his own house? Is he defending his rights or just protecting the empire? One entertainment lawyer, speaking off the record about the Satterthwaite case, didn't hold back. They said this is exactly the kind of scandal that shatters legacies. And not because of the kids, but because of the cover-up. You don't get taken down by the scandal, they said. You get taken down by the cover-up. And when that cover-up allegedly includes legal trickery, sealed records, and gag orders that don't officially exist, people start asking, what else is being hidden? Public pressure is growing fast. Social media is tearing apart every silence, every lyric, every lawyer's word. And fans who once idolized Jay-Z, they're not just asking about what happened in the 90s. They're asking who he really is today. But what he's doing now, refusing to take two simple tests that could finally give peace, clarity, and closure to two people who say they've lived their whole lives like ghosts in his story, is raising major questions. And the timing couldn't be worse. Lawsuits are stacking up. The past is coming back for a lot of big names from hip-hop's so-called golden era. And Jay-Z, he's standing on shaky ground. Former insiders are already whispering, this might be the beginning of a reckoning. Not just for Jay-Z, but for the polished image he spent decades building. Clean, sharp, untouchable. But behind closed doors, it's a different story. Aggressive lawyers, NDA payoffs, and a tangled web that's been spinning since the 90s, allegedly. We're even hearing that private investigators are now digging around, tracking property records, payment trails, financial support, and any secret communications between Jay-Z's camp and the Macer and Satterthwaite families. And if those receipts come to light, everything could flip. Fast. What was once labeled denial could start looking a lot like confirmation. What looked like protection could start reading as betrayal. And once the truth starts leaking, it moves quick, real quick, no matter how many billions you've got, no matter how flawless the PR machine is. When the mask starts to crack, it doesn't take long for the whole story to spill out. So where does that leave Beyoncé? According to insiders, she's not standing still. She's got her own legal squad, crisis handlers, and a circle of trusted advisors locking in every angle. One source close to her camp even hinted that she's already laying the foundation for a solo path, something strong enough to stand without the Carter name attached. She's been playing the long game for years, quietly stacking power, ownership, and influence behind the scenes. And if this turns into a full-on collapse, she's not flinching. She'll pivot on her terms and do it globally, no hesitation. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's under the kind of pressure he's never faced before. The world's watching, waiting to see if he'll finally confront these claims head on. Will he step up and face the truth? Or will this be the scandal that finally tears down the empire he spent decades building? One thing's for sure, the truth always finds its way out, and when it does, the fallout could hit hard. What do you think? Are we witnessing the fall of a hip-hop titan? Or is there still more to the story that hasn't been told? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the tea. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp and stay tuned.